Hello everyone, Rebecca McPhee here, accredited practicing dietitian and health coach. Meal planning is pretty important when it comes to managing blood glucose levels and weight with type 2 diabetes because it's all about balancing the macronutrients. And when I say macronutrients, I mean our carbohydrates, our proteins, and our essential fats. But there's no need to count calories, which can be very tedious and quite boring. All you need is something very simple. Your hands. Your hands are a great tool to give you a guide as to how much you need to eat, or, as I've always said before, measuring cups are also a really good tool to have on hand as well. So let's go through the steps. So the first macronutrient to include are our lean proteins. So that's our red meat, our chicken and turkey, fish, our eggs, and tofu or tempeh if you're vegetarian. And the amount is about the size of your palm and the thickness of your palm, or the size of a deck of cards and the thickness of a deck of cards. But if you're a very tall, big man, your hands are going to be bigger, therefore your palm will be bigger, so you get a bigger serve of protein. Protein is really important because it contributes to satiety, that feeling of fullness, which helps to keep us satisfied to the next meal. And in general, it does not break down to form glucose in the blood. So it's a really important macronutrient to include in your meals. The next one is our carbohydrates, and we're looking for more of those low GI, slowly digested carbohydrates, which will include our low GI rice, our quinoa, for example, pasta. Also, carbohydrates include our dairy, like yogurt, our milk, our fruit, and many, many vegetables. So our sweet potato, our lower GI potatoes, and all vegetables have some form of carbohydrate, so it can be a great way to get those really important plant foods in the diet. Now, how much you need, it's very, very different for everyone, and I've got a couple of examples today. And if you're not sure, then it's a great idea to book in to see an accredited health professional like a dietitian who can tailor the amount that you need. But with your carbs, testing your blood glucose levels 2 hours after a meal will be a great guide to see if you've had enough or too much. But in general, the size would be about a closed fist size or about a half a cup cooked. Now, you may need more than that or you may need less. It just depends on the person. And the next macronutrient to include are our essential fats. Forget no fat, we need good fat in our diet. So good fats include our olive oil, our olives, our avocado, and our nuts and our seeds, and they form part of the meal too. The amount is about the size of your thumb, which would also be around a tablespoon, so you're looking at olive oil, or about a quarter of an avocado. There is the last part to meal planning, which we don't say it's a macronutrient. It's our colour or our vegetables or salad. But that would come under the category of carbohydrates because our vegetables and salad offer some carbohydrate, but also lots of vitamins and minerals. They are so important in the diet. And we need about 2 large handfuls, about 2 cupfuls. And it's not always easy if we're getting a bit bored with how to present vegetables. So I've got a couple of ideas here. I've got 3 meals here. So the first meal here is, and this is a couple of things to mention, I've got some koftas. Now, koftas are a beautiful way of using up some mince. I've used chicken mince. Traditionally, lamb mince is used, but I've lowered the saturated fat content and used chicken mince. Lean pork mince is also lovely. And so you're saving a lot of saturated fat by replacing sausages with kofta and increasing the protein. So I've got some koftas here. I've got a lovely salad, so that's all your colour, and I've drizzled it with olive oil, so there are essential fats. And you can see here, instead of using rice, which is quite nice to have with kofta, if you're looking at really reducing those carbs, I've used cauliflower rice. And to be honest, plain cauliflower rice, boiled or microwaved, I do not like. I'm going to be very honest. How I cook cauliflower rice is I heat the pan with olive oil, make it nice and hot, throw in the cauliflower rice and give it a good stir fry, make it nice and crispy, and then I add some nice spices such as cumin powder and coriander seed and some salt, and the flavour is just amazing. It takes you to the Middle East. So that's how I do my cauliflower rice. Really, really nice. And then I've got some homemade tzatziki, which is just Greek yogurt with a bit of lemon juice. I've chopped up some cucumber and I've put a drizzle of lemon juice in there. simple. And that meal with all the macronutrients is only 4 grams of carbohydrate, but very, very, very filling. The next meal we've got is our protein is our lean source of fish, so that's salmon. And you can see it's a lovely little portion there. I've got a massive salad, so that's our colour. And the carbohydrate choice is half a cup of chickpeas, which I've mixed in the salad, the essential fats of the avocado, and I've given a great drizzle with olive oil and balsamic vinegar. And the chickpeas is the carbohydrate source with a bit of salad that adds a couple of grams of carbs, is, stay up, 12 grams of carbohydrate. But look how filling it looks and vibrant. The last meal I've got here is your ratatouille, which is a lovely Mediterranean vegetable stew. And I've got some chicken here. I don't tend to use chicken breast. While it is leaner, I find it gets a bit dry. So I use chicken thigh. I trim off the excess fat, but thigh has so much more flavour. So I've got about the size of your palm, 2 pieces cut of some steamed chicken, which I've put some really nice smoked paprika with it, with this lovely vegetable stew, which is ratatouille. And I haven't added any traditional carbs like rice or pasta. I've just used the vegetables as the carbohydrate macronutrient source. And with that, it gives you a total of 16 grams of carbohydrate. So you can see here, you've got this theme going on. We're eating a very Mediterranean style diet. And we know that Mediterranean eating is one of the oldest diets in the world, contributes to longevity and reduces the risk of chronic disease, cancers, and even dementia. And if you have type 2 diabetes, what you're doing here is you're bulking up your plant foods, you're modifying your carbohydrates, you're including lean proteins and some of those essential fats. And that is the way you have balanced meals that doesn't cost too much, but is also very, very satisfying.